Good evening and welcome to Take a Pull podcast. I'm Declan Carroll. It has been a while and I'm joined again by Andy Cummins. Andy, the tap is back.
Yeah, it's felt like I only did a podcast yesterday, but it's also at the same time felt like it's been ages. So it's brilliant to be back. Lovely break during the flat season, of course, but we're back for the Irish Derby, and I'm looking forward to getting back into it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. It's been a busy enough period for both of us. You
Yeah,
had a nice holiday. I've had plenty on my plate, but I'm really looking forward to getting back into it. And obviously, the Irish Derby is a very important race on the Irish racing calendar, and this will lead us into Galway. We might get one in between now and Galway.
we should. Yeah, we should. There'd be
Yeah,
something.
but we're gearing up to Galway, which is it the biggest festival in Europe?
It's the biggest festival in the world.
Biggest festival in the world, yeah. Biggest
Yeah.
festival in the world. So, have you any plans to get there this year?
You know what? Fun fact: I've never ever been to Ballybrit or the Galway Festival. I've never been on that race course in my life, so I'd like to try and get down maybe one of the days. Absolutely. Yeah, it's just never. It's not that it's never appealed to me. It's just never. It's the timing's just never been right. But no, I might give it a good go this year. You've been before, haven't you? You have to have gone.
I've been. I was there a good few years ago for the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
That's some staying power now.
Thursday's tough going now because it's Ladies' Day and it's Galway Hurdle Day. That's tough going. Like there's probably not another race course in the world like it because we all know what the track is like. It's quite unique, but it's very small. It's basically a dog track, but the stands are massive. The stands are some of the biggest in the country, and then they're nearly longer than the straight. It's quite unique. But look, Irish racing is about the summer festivals. We've high quality jump racing in the winter, but we can all be involved with a horse that could run or win at the Galway Festival, and I think that's what's beautiful about Irish racing. Goodwood's on the same week. I don't think either of us would ever own a Goodwood runner, Andy.
Tommy nearly had a Goodwood winner. Don't let him start that story.
Oh, don't let him start that story.
Arifa. Look,
right.
Yeah, he'll tell you over a point if he hasn't before.
I'm sure he probably told me a few times.
He'll tell you over a point.
Tommy and the stories, I've probably heard it a few times.
Yeah.
But I suppose that's what Irish racing is about for me. It's about the summer festivals, and Galway's probably the pinnacle. I know you have the Harvest Festival. Was fortunate enough to have a runner at the Harvest Festival. Went off favourite for the handicap, but Galway is where it's at. It's on terrestrial TV all week. There's nothing like it. It's the buzz. I know people crab about the quality of racing, but we can all have it. It's some of the biggest days of the year, and we can all have a runner there. Like there's nothing like it.
It's a segue, isn't it? Because is there a chance Countdana makes it this year if he starts getting on a little hot streak over fences? I know he won a Tramore while we were on a break. If you want to tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, look, he won his beginner's chase at Tramore. He won quite well. I thought he'd find life quite difficult in that field, but he was running against a lot of tap horses. So
that's right. We knew them all like the back of our hands.
Yeah, I knew them all. Like I could see the dangers, and I could also I could pick holes in them all. But it was a bit mad to have a runner against a lot of tap horses that we've spoken a lot about, and we've made very good cases for to win races. But he won really, really well, and the handicapper seen it. He got £6. He's up to 108 now. He's going to find life quite difficult now, I'd say. He's a small horse. He does jump very well. He'd be. Look, it'd be great to go on a run. He is what he is, though. He's not going to. I was joking. He'd be some sight in the top one, but he'll never get to that level. He will. Sorry.
No, I said one more win. You could just slide him into the Blazers, maybe, and you never know. From there, if you have a runner.
Look, he's entered in a handicap chase at Tipperary on Tuesday. not the 109. He's 108. He'd be carrying a lot of weight for a small horse. So I think he's going to start finding life quite difficult now. But there's not many people can say, there's not many syndicates that can say that they've owned a horse that's won 3 times. He has,
exactly. Yeah.
He's taken us all around the country. He's helping tick a lot of race courses off the list that we haven't been to. And he has been the horse of a lifetime. To win 3 times for ordinary people, it's been magical, and some of the memories he's given us, it really has been, it's been amazing. And we all have the bug. Probably think it's easy now, but we've been very, very lucky. But he's an absolute legend. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and he gives everything every time he runs. And there's, we know, Andy, horses at his level, a lot of them, they don't have that attitude, but he has the attitude of, say, a superstar mare. You know that.
Yeah.
And that's what's helped him
yeah.
his wins. But he's an absolute, he's a pleasure to be involved with. He's a legend.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with everything you said. I actually think you're underselling him a little bit. I think there's a good few more wins in him off.
Well, the handicapper
I still think. I think 108's lenient on what he did at Tremor.
Look, come here. He beat a mare. It was Goldhaven, one of ours. When we're constantly talking up, she's rated £7 below him. He gave her £7, and he's beaten her. Look, was it five lengths?
Down, yeah, but he hasn't really been asked much though, has he? He's got to win his race.
He should have been pretending to ask a bit more. But look, it's amazing. We don't know how lucky we are to own a horse with the attitude he has. We are blessed, because they're few and far between them, and we know that from going through the midweek racing in Ireland. A lot of them win, and we discard them. Then we're finished with them. But he has backed it up a couple of times, so we're just very, very lucky, and we probably don't appreciate how lucky we are.
But, no, you do. We
definitely will in time. We definitely will in time if people from the syndicate get involved again, because we've had it too easy this time.
Yeah, but when you own one that's not good enough to actually get a handicap mark, that's probably when you'll know all about it. But with this lad, he's a pleasure to watch. Hopefully now he gets a few more wins. I think he will, to be honest with you.
Look, it'd be great, but he is going to start finding life difficult. He has to,
Anything over the last 6-7 weeks since we've departed that's caught your eye, Dec? Either jumps or flat, or have you taken a real time out?
I have taken a good bit of time out, and I've been very, very busy. I haven't got to watch an awful lot of racing. I suppose we had City Troy winning the Derby, and look, I thought he was class. I thought he was class. Dermot Wells filly that won the Oaks, I thought she was very, very good. They're the obvious two, probably not going to interest people. What about you?
A bit of one of left field. The horse I put up on Twitter, that I think was an Andy Oliver horse, or Orchard Dacier, I think it was called. 50-1, ran down the field, and then I was away with my girlfriend, and the phone starts hopping. It wins next time out of 50-1. I didn't have a bean on it. I think it's won twice since, but it's going to be a kind of a fun horse to follow. I'll try and mention it a bit more. It's a 2-year-old by Churchill, if you've seen her on Twitter. But seen
actually,
on Twitter.
Andy, a horse that you have in the top tracker that I don't even think you've spoken about, and neither of us had a bean on him. I think Razzoon, has won twice.
Of course it has. Yeah, no, I forgot about that. It has, yeah.
Well, I haven't had a penny on him, and I don't think you have either. And I've looked at it 2 times, and you have a good note there underneath in the top tracker, and we've both missed them.
What can you do? Look, obviously the aim, if you're going to have a break, you need to have a break, I suppose. And look, you're gonna save a few quid, but there's going to be some expensive winners in there. But it's all part of the process. You can't be having a break and then having a sporadic bet here or two. And look, we'll find more winners. It's Irish Derby weekend. There's a few here that I'm confident in now that I think we'll get back on track, get the podcast rolling again. towards the summer festivals, autumn festivals, etc. And we're gonna roll in the winners, and the top tracker will be, it'd be roaring. So I'm looking forward to it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, we get into it.
Let's do it.
And we're going with Saturday. We're just going to we're going to cover Saturday's races, except for the maidens, and we're going to cover the Group 2, the Irish Derby, and the 2 Premier Handicaps on Sunday. Obviously, we don't have declarations for Sunday, but we'll do our best. But we get stuck into Saturday, Andy, and we have at 1:45 Sherry Fitzgerald Country Homes Handicap. I know Sherry Fitzgerald is Sherry Fitzgerald is estate agent.
Estate agents, yeah.
And it's not a woman called Sherry Fitzgerald.
No.
I'm fairly certain it's 2 separate people, but I didn't know they had a department just for country homes.
Well, there you go. Well, I might have to buy one of these of the way the prices are going in Dublin, so I might hit them up. As the months that day is coming closer, Dec. So
well, look, I'm gonna back a few of yours this weekend because you are the flat man, and hopefully I can afford a country holiday home after it. But
let's see what happens.
It is a handicap for 3-year-olds and up over 6 furlongs. There's a couple that caught my eye. I do like Red Letter Bray. He won at 100 to 1 on his first start for Liam Cusack. He's up £6 for that. That was over course and distance. He did show plenty for Mick O'Callaghan before that. Before probably, I don't know whether losing his way or just finding life difficult. But if he can, if he has rediscovered that form, and he's going to show it again, I'd say he definitely has a chance. The next one on my list, 1 second, it was Tawazon. Look, he would be, if this is over 5 furlongs and the next time he runs over 5 furlongs, he will be of interest to me. He was second off 83 at Fairyhouse the last day. The 6 furlongs at Fairyhouse will be easy. 7 furlongs at Fairyhouse is quite easy. It's nearly all downhill. But he's definitely one I have in the top tracker for the next day over 5 furlongs. The 2 that I'd really be given a chance to is Apricot Ice, 3-year-old, maiden winner the last day, shown good form. This is handicap debut. And Charlize, Johnny Velasquez takes the ride. So he's only going to be getting up on good ones, I'd imagine. It beat the short head by Dance Night and Day the last day. A horse of Ross O'Sullivan's, he's up £3. It'd be between the 2 of them for me. But Andy, what tickled your fancy here?
Yeah, no, you mentioned a few interesting ones there, Dec, and you were onto something there with Red Letter Bray. Like once he came out of his own age group, sprinting, he went into the older handicaps and he just found life a bit difficult. The only reason I could see him going off 100 to 1 on a stable debut is I would imagine they just disrespected Liam Cusack's ability to train a horse, because when a horse goes from a big trainer to a small trainer, first time up in a handicap, or in this instance, you can get big prices. Sometimes they run accordingly, but in this case, Red Letter Bray went and won the race. If he's got him back, he is probably a pattern horse, and he would take some stopping. The 2 I did come down on though, Dec, I quite like the look of Rami and Apache Outlaw, so the 3 and 4 on the card. Rami is trying his hand at sprinting. I believe for the first time. I don't think he's ever tried a sprint trip. He has tried 7. Was second on his penultimate start behind King's Time. Hit the line. I didn't think he hit the line overly well, and I thought, like, going back up to a mile, I was thinking that's a bit strange. Just didn't look like he stayed the mile, and sometimes as horses get older they get faster, and I think he's worth his try at sprinting, so long as he doesn't miss the break. He should be able to travel strongly and come home well. The other one who's running into a piece of form is Apache Outlaw, who's just below him on the card. Was thought good enough to run the Phoenix Stakes at 2 and trained by Joseph O'Brien. Lost his way, kind of similar to Red Letter Bray at 3. Has came back and has ran all right. He won at Dundalk in March. And ran 4th behind Universally at Fairyhouse. Possibly, you mentioned that fast 6 Dec, it might have been just a little bit fast for him. He was well beaten by Red Letter Bray. He was 9 to 17 behind him in May. But I think that the run at Fairyhouse was much more like he's running off he's running off 88. He's 93 on the all weather, but I'd say I wouldn't say he's at £6 worse on the turf. I think it's just because his last win came on the all weather and he's had a few runs on the turf. I would imagine that he would be able to run to a mark like 93 on the turf. Adam Caffrey taking off the £3 as well. I would have him a little bit ahead of Rami. I like them both, but it would be Apache Outlaw for me in the opener.
Okay, so Apache Outlaw, we have tissues here, tens on the tissues.
That'll do, mate. No problem.
Would you be happy with that? And I was having a look for Charlize on the tissues, and he is bar to 1. So
we love bar.
Yeah, we love a bit of bar around here. Yeah, so yeah, look, I'll be happy with bar. Yeah, look, I'll take Apricot, Ice, and Charlize, and Andy, you are Rami and.
Yeah, I don't know if I could part ways with Cash on Rami at his first attempt at sprinting. I think he's very much worth watching, but Apache Outlaw, like, even though he's 4 to 6 the last day, I think that Ferry House 6 just took him off his feet a little bit.
Okay.
I think we're going to see an improved run there on Saturday from him.
Okay, so we've 2 for the top tracker, Tawaz on and Rami, and you'll take Apache Outlaw and you'll be keen enough on him.
Yeah, I think he's a fair chance now. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Very good. We will move on to the 220, which is the Arley Stud Stakes. It's a Group 2 for 2-year-old fillies over 6 furlongs. We have ours who has ran at Ascot. We're going to see a few that ran at Royal Ascot, and he is a quick turnaround. I know on another podcast we often cover the railway stakes, and you know, there's often horses that run at Royal Ascot and turn up.
Yeah.
California Dreamer is the one I'm talking about here. She was 5th in the Albany. She is yet to win, but she was ahead of Barnavara. Previously, that was at Nace. But I do fancy it, purely on the fact that she has been to Royal Ascot. I fancy Barnavara to reverse the form, and I think she'll go close here. It's only her third run, but. What way do you see this?
Yeah, I do think Barnavara would reverse the form of California Dreamer, absolutely. I don't think she ran to form personally in that Group 3. She was really impressive on her debut at the Curragh, daughter of Calix. She even shaped like maybe 5 furlongs would have suited her the way she travelled at Nace. She just didn't necessarily pick up. Maybe she was on an off day. I think she's definitely better than what she's shown though at Nace, and they've probably skipped Royal Ascot to come here. This Arley Stud Stakes can traditionally, or maybe traditionally that's not the right word, but it can be a race that it doesn't or shouldn't maybe live up to its Group 2 status. Like Statuette won it last year, previous year Velocidad won it. They were definitely 2 subpar years. In my opinion, American Bar, she is a No Nay Never filly, trained by Paddy Toomey. She was well backed and obliged at Listowel on her debut. The form is fine. Cradle of Love reopposes. Obviously I can't see her reversing the form. She's rated 88. She ran okay in the Albany, but she'd also be held by California Dreamer on that form. I'm gonna tip one here at a big price. And it's going to be the Fozzie Stack runner, Grand Mark. She's only had 1 run in her life. She finished 3rd. She was actually behind January that day, who went on and won. But if you go back and watch that race, she runs extremely green and is carried halfway across the straight by another runner. I think it's And So to Bed, Joseph O'Brien filly. She carries Grand Mark across the track, hampers January a little bit as well, but she comes home really well. Finishes up sides of January. I think there might have been a quarter of a length, half a length in it at the line. And what's noticeable about it, as she passes the line, she's the last one to pull up, which I always love seeing a horse on debut do. Even if it's at the Curragh where there's the blockade at the end. But Heaven's Gate wins it snugly. Grand Mark was definitely the one to take from the race. And Fozzie Stack actually won this race with Aloha Star in 2020. Aloha Star, I think, returned 66 to 1. So Fozzie Stack has done this before in this race with a horse with a similar profile. I just thought she ran with a lot of promise on her debut, and she's going to be, I'd say, 40, 50 to 1. And I'd be backing her each way. I think she's a lot of talent.
Okay. 40, 50 to 1. We've 12s on the tissues.
For Jesus' sake.
Yeah.
I thought she'd be about 40 or 50 to 1. She's only finished third in a maiden, for Christ's sake. She's
Yeah,
going into
yeah.
Group
Look, obviously the guy who does the tissues.
2. Someone
I've
fancies her
seen what
anyway.
you've seen.
That's
I wonder
yeah,
who the tissue guy is.
yeah. No, if she's 10 or 12 to 1, I'd be sick now. I was hoping I'd be getting a huge price on her. And I see you still might.
Yeah.
You still might, because like people are going to
Oh,
read the
look,
form.
I'd say when she opens first, you might with some
Yeah.
bookmakers. I'd say it'll be a big, she could be 12, she could be 40s in different places.
Yeah, you never know.
When she opens, and I think the market will kind of start to correct itself then. And look, if you've seen it and the tissue guy have seen it,
Yeah,
she's
it's
probably
probably.
it'll be corrected by lunchtime Saturday, I'd imagine.
Yeah, with a bit of luck, we get a big price. She could not have been a more eye catching though, so it is probably understandable. But I'm disappointed to hear 10 or 12 to 1. Thinking I've won up my sleeve here, but look, we'll see what happens.
Okay, so that is Grand Marquis, is that right?
I was just gonna go Grand Mark, but if you want to say Grand Marquis, it could be one or the other.
Grand Marquis. Yeah, look,
We'll get our French. I never didn't take French in school, so.
is it French? Yeah.
Is it Grand Mark? Is it like an Entente Rafi? Is it like a Grand Mark or
Grand Mark.
Grand?
But if it's
Grand
French,
Mark?
it's Grand Mark, isn't it? Grand Mark.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway.
and it was Barnavara for me. Okay, we will move on. We have at 255 that Albasti Equiworld, the boy international stakes. It's a Group 3 for 3-year-old and up over 1 mile 2 furlongs. We've a rider in here, Bolster. He's won handicaps the last twice. I do like riders coming over, particularly to the Curragh. They're always worth keeping an eye on. Should run a big race. Trust Your Instinct was a hurdle winner. Won a conditions race the last day on the flat. 4-year-old, quite progressive, I think. Very interesting runner here as well. But it's between two for me. The first one is Empress of Beauty, Henry de Bromhead, 4-year-old. She beat Goldana the last day, who chased home Ocean Jewel here, and she was actually ahead of Rogue Millennium. Now, Rogue Millennium probably should have won that race, didn't get the smoothest of trips up the rail. Would you say Rogue Millennium disappointed at Ascot?
I'd say so. Like she's 5 now, isn't she?
Yeah, has she seen enough?
Could possibly be. Like the only reason she's still in training is to win a Group 1, and if so I'd say they were a little bit disappointed. Yeah,
she was very unlucky at the Curragh now behind win that race where she was third, where Empress of Beauty was second and Ocean Jewel won. The other one for me is Wendley, 3-year-old by Ulysses. Have you ever tried reading Ulysses, Andy?
I actually have a degree in English, and there was I shouldn't be like this is probably
I'm
incriminating myself here, but yeah, there was a module solely on James Joyce's masterpiece. I only got halfway, but I got a B.
Did you? Yeah, I got halfway. I've never got past page 24, and
it's not
tried,
easy.
sometimes I haven't got past page 4. No, it's quite difficult, but I do like to leave it around the house on the coffee table when we visitors.
Yeah, exactly.
Until they pick it up and they see your bookmark is here on 4. What's this?
Bit of culture, yeah.
When she beat Buttons the last day, he was 4 lengths fourth in the Irish 1000. She gets all the way here. It's between the two fillies for me. I am finding it hard to split them, but what way do you see this?
Yeah, no, I'm with the 3-year-old filly, Dec, Wendla. And look, you mentioned Ulysses, obviously, and she's out of a Danehill mare as well. Galileo out of the Danehill mare was the kind of cross for years. Obviously, Ulysses is a son of Galileo. So, look, I think he's. I think she has a great chance. I don't think this is the strongest Group 3 that you're ever going to see. I was hoping Azanda, I think it's Azada, or is that the filly that the Aga Khan filly that I liked of Dermot Wells. We should see her soon. I was hoping they'd run her here, but they've kept her for another time. But stepping up to 10 furlongs with this pedigree is going to be of absolutely no issue to her. As you said, Dec, she beat Buttons at Leopardstown in a Group 3. Buttons ran absolutely fine, and it was the Irish 1000. I think she won the Irish 1000.
It was the Irish with
Um,
beating 4 lengths in the Irish 1000.
yeah, no, that was a fine run. I thought the Irish Guineas was a good race. Always is usually. I think maybe heavy ground, even though she won a maiden in heavy ground, I think you're going to see her much better suited to this sort of ground and going up in trip. I'd say they're only scratching the surface with her, getting all these allowances. Now she does have a penalty. She has to carry 8 stone 11, just like the colt, Jan Brewell of Aidan O'Brien. So that penalty is for winning the Group 3 at Leopardstown. But going up in trip and she's just so unexposed. You did mention a few others, Empress of Beauty. She wouldn't be without a chance. Trust Your Instinct, who's by Churchill, one of my favourite sires, as you said. Hurdles winner as well, I believe, as I think you said as well, Dec.
Has won other hurdles,
Look, 102 on the flat and 122 rated hurdler. Only ran 4 times over hurdles. Like, if he's that good on the flat and he can jump, he should be able to be. He could do damage off 122.
Into the tap tracker.
Into the tap tracker. Here he goes.
That
Bolster.
tracker's on fire tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned Raiders at the Curragh deck. I prefer to see them over sprint trips personally.
Yeah.
They usually mop up our sprints or even up to 7 furlongs. But look, you'd have to respect Bolster. He's 4-year-old colt who's completely unexposed. He's on the rise. He's started the season brilliantly. But I do like Gerlines' filly, Wendla. I think, as I said, stepping up to this trip, given her pedigree, given her progressive profile, to good ground. I think she's a very, very good chance of winning this.
Yeah, well, I do like Wendla. Look, I'm struggling to split them, but the fact you like Wendla too may sway me towards there. Might possibly be the nap of the tap by the end of the show. Potentially. Okay, we'll move on to the Group 1. The Cairn Community Games, Pretty Polly Stakes for fillies and mares, 3-year-old and up, 1 mile, 2 furlongs. I think this is one of the most underrated Group 1s on the calendar, Andy. It's kind of forgotten about because it comes in between the 2 Oaks, Epsom and the Curragh.
Yeah.
And you often get the Epsom Oaks winner running here and then going on. I think was Legatissimo beaten in this?
Oh, Legatissimo, yeah, I think she was. She came back and won the matron then, didn't she? Well, she obviously had a few runs.
To be honest, I thought Legatissimo would have won the Irish Champion Stakes that day. She won the matron.
Oh God, she was scintillating that day.
Yeah, I thought she was absolutely brilliant. She was. I was a big fan of hers, but I think it is one of the most underrated Group 1s for fillies on the calendar. We have last year's Irish Oaks second, Blue Stocking. She beat Free Wind the last day at York, and you'd have to say that's improved because she was behind Free Wind last year. Emily Upjohn is up in here, who's probably been one of the best horses in the world over the last couple of years, but I think she's best fresh. She last ran on the 31st of May. Is that enough for her? I think she needs even more time than that. I don't think she takes racing too well. Stay Alert was second of this last year. She beat Running Line at Newmarket, who won her Ascot. Tasmania, 4 start for Mark Prescott, was trained in France previously. I'm not going to pretend I delved into that form. Lumiere Rock is one who would have a big chance if she rediscovered her form from last year. And Francophone, an unexposed 3-year-old. Not race I'm mad to have a bet in. It's quite tricky, I think, but I probably would side with Blue Stocking. But what way do you see it, Andy?
Yeah, like, it depends. You can pick holes in pretty much them all. And there's every horse has like one piece of form that like you'd say that will win them a race. Like Stay Alert, you could argue was better than ever on her seasonal reappearance. Only found Via Sustina too good in this race last year. There's nothing as good as Via Sustina in the race this year, in my opinion. Obviously, she finished last season second in the Champion Stakes at Ascot. So look, that would obviously give her a serious chance. Emily Upjohn, but as you said, Dec would need to come back to form that she showed last year. Ryan Moore kind of just blew her brains out at Epsom last time out. They just went so slow, and she had a history of not settling early on. So the slower they go early on, the lesser chance that she has. She'll probably need to be held up and hope that they go quick. I'm kind of surprised at if Gosden had a free going filly that might have liked to kick on. Maybe Runner as a pacemaker, but obviously they don't have one. Maybe the Charlie Johnston horse, Francophone, could go forward. Blue Stocking, as you said, I still have no idea how she didn't win the Irish Oaks last year, having her pocket picked by Save the Last Dance in a thrilling race. I was there that day in the lashings of rain. Fantastic race. I still have no idea how Blue Stocking didn't win that race. But the one I'm going to come down with, it's like I probably be criticised for a biased pick because I loved this filly last year and I said she'd win Group 1s this year, is Lumiere Rock. So you would have to forgive her run. But it was in the Tatskull Cup. It's Group 1 against the Colts, beaten 14 lengths by White Birch. White Birch, so impressive that day. Auguste Rodin second. She was beaten a long way. You take the first two out, she's even getting beat 3 lengths by Crypto Force, who was third. It's not very strong form. But if you go back last year, she started her season in a listed race 5 1/4 lengths behind Village Voice. That was nowhere near where she finished the season and winning the Blandford Stakes and then finishing third behind Blue Rose Sen. And look, she even ran a blinder behind Inspiral in the Fillies and Mares after a long, tough season. Any of the replication of her last 3 runs of last season at the Curragh, at Longchamp, or at Santa Anita, in my opinion, would give her a serious chance here. I'm going to just take it on trust that she needed the run behind White Birch. If they thought she was good enough to take on the Colts, and she's back in here against the Fillies with a run under her belt at a course where she won a Group 2 last year, double figure price, I'd be happy to side with her because I think she can win a Group 1 this year, and I think this is a decent enough opportunity despite it being competitive.
Yeah, look, I can see it. I think if I said if she can rediscover her form, well, you've made good excuses for her in our last run in the Tatskull Cup. So yeah, look, I can see it. I'm siding with Blue Stocking, but again, I wouldn't be trying to convince anyone because not a race I'm mad to have a bet on. So anyone who is having a bet, I would suggest they do side with you because you made quite a good case there. We'll move on to the last race we're going to cover on Saturday, which is the 405, the Kildare Village Ladies Derby Handicap 4-year-old and up, 1 mile 2 furlong. Be honest, Andy, I didn't. It's not.
I think you would. This isn't easy.
No, this is difficult, but I just think Chloe Bourne, who works for Ross O'Sullivan, is riding Letiza here. And Chloe actually looked after Kieran. She was down with him the last day in Tramore when he won. And like all Ross's staff, does a great job. And they're all lovely people. They're all very, very friendly. And look, it's a great team he has here. But I just want to wish Chloe all the best on Saturday and hope she has a great time. What are your thoughts on this race?
Yeah, the first time cheek pieces on Letiza as well, so hopefully they do the trick as well, and that'd be great if Chloe gets a good spin on Letiza and hopefully she goes well. Bold Approach, an interesting runner down the bottom there as well for Gabriella Hill. The horse is in good form. He's hiding nothing from the handicapper these days, but has ran well the last twice. He would have to have a chance, but I am going to go for one, and I swear to God, Dec, if this one isn't bar, I'm going to have to give up the game. I could actually see a horse there, Joe Masseria, number 7 on the card.
It's
running
not even a jockey book.
Yeah, there's not even a jockey, but I was trying to find out what the story is there. It's what's it?
12s.
12s. Oh God, I'm really out of touch here with the tissues.
Like, yeah, you're out of practice.
Yeah, I'm out of practice. This is bad. Look, this first run for the stable last time out, and it travelled well. It was its first time at 1 mile and 6. Had never been beyond 1 mile in its life before that. It never been beyond 1 mile and a quarter before that, but did most of its running at 1 mile. Even ran in the Irish Lincoln behind Chesesme. Travelled quite well at Fairyhouse behind a runaway leader, and just looked like it had a good chance, turning for home, and the petrol gauge just went empty. Ended up finishing 8th and beating quite a long way, but the finishing position doesn't kind of do it justice. Like he ran a lot better than the finishing position suggests. So coming back now to 10 furlongs, was uprated up at 90 at one stage. And look, I thought there was enough effort at Fairyhouse to suggest that ability is still there. Comes here off 79, 10 furlongs. Yeah, I could just see that going quite well. At this trip, unexposed at the trip at the bare minimum. I don't know what the story is coming back from a mile and six, but look, it's a or not don't know what the story is. I don't know what, like, trying a mile and six before, not even trying a mile and a half, just going straight to a mile and six. But we're back to a mile and two now, and I think that could run well.
Well, they usually go quite quick in these races, but it could almost look like a ladies' bumper. Like, well, you've Rachel in here who can't ride in bumpers, Jodie Townend, Anya O'Connor, Georgie Benson.
What's the tissue on Bailey stock there?
5-2 favourite.
That's insane. That could be the worst price horse of the week. I could be eating my words, but like, I was looking back on its French form, even its hurdles form. He's not a strong finisher over 2 miles, which you could argue he was unlucky not to win the Scottish Champion hurdle. He was out battled late there, but even on his runs over 10, like he did win over 10 in France, but he was also out battled a good few times over 10. Maybe not the strongest of finishers, and if they go lickety split here, like, even though he has hurdles form and decent hurdles form, I'd almost say he'd be a suspect stayer at 10.
Yeah, well,
so like,
he's a horse who I don't think has ever really fulfilled his potential. Like, he won the handicap hurdle at Punchestown, and you're expecting to go chasing then and be a grade 1 chaser, but they kept him over hurdles, and he's just not a horse who's ever really done what we all hoped. But in a race where jockey bookings can be very, very important, and sometimes we make our selections on jockey bookings, you've gone for the horse with no jockey bookings.
Well, hopefully, who doesn't have a ride here? Can Nina Carberry get on it before she goes to Europe?
I'm just gonna have a look. Who would not have a ride?
I don't know. Does this mean it's a non-runner? Like, oh yeah, like all the, like, as you said, like, we've Rachel, Jodie, Anya, Siobhan. You are right. Like, the top ones are taken, but look, I'm can Maxine O'Sullivan come in for the ride or something? Or
Yeah.
Never know.
Why don't you can get a wig on? You can borrow my hair.
Hold on for dear life.
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
Okay, that's us done with Saturday. We will move on to Sunday. Andy, you've looked at these more than me. The 2 Premier handicaps, I don't have any opinion on. I'll be honest, I ran out of time to look at them. So that's why I have no opinion. But we go to the Sunday, the 110 at the Curragh. It's a Premier handicap, and for some reason I can't read out the sponsor's name, but it's for 3-year-olds over 1 mile, 1 furlong. Take it away, Andy.
Right, yeah, 59,000 to the winner, so I think it's probably 100 grand handicap, total pot. So I think this is going to be my strongest bet of the week, Dec. But I have to also remind listeners that we are working without declarations right now as we record on Thursday evening. But the one I'm going to go with is Sharonay, of Mick Halford and Tracy Collins. My Tommy and I, or my dad and I, were having a chat about there was the really impressive Aga Khan winner at Royal Ascot, the one the King Edward Dec. Do you remember his name, the 3-year-old?
The Gelding.
Yeah.
Is he favourite for the Triumph? Yeah.
I don't know if he is or not, but
Carter Logan or something, was it?
Yeah, something like that. I can't. The name is just escaping me at the moment. But anyway, long story short, we were both agreed that we couldn't remember the Aga Khan owning a gelding, and here's another one. So maybe there's some sort of policy change here.
We're getting into the jump.
Maybe they are getting into the jumps. This lad wouldn't be a bad one to own now. He's by Harzand as well. He's had a bit of success over the sticks. Yeah, but this horse I think could be very, very progressive. Was gelded after a quiet run at 2, where he ran okay at the Curragh, over 7 furlongs. Came back and won at Cork, won a maiden. Didn't go unbacked either that day. Was a snug winner over Super Socks. Took that form or improved on that form to finish second when beaten by Chicago Critic. It looked like he might have been a bit weak in the finish there over a mile. He finished well clear of Air Commander of Aidan O'Brien's as well. Chicago Critic ended up winning the race quite snugly, but Chicago Critic, who won that, I think he might have won a maiden and then won this race, or I'll just double check that, but I think he won a maiden and then won this handicap, and this is after being gelded. He Oh, sorry. That was Chicago Critic's first run after being gelded. He then went and excelled himself in the Jersey Stakes. He was third at 80-1 in that race. Ran an excellent race behind Hatem in the Jersey there last Saturday, which just in this light now, Chardonnay off 95. After seeing what Chicago Critic did there, he's only after getting £2 for that. They were well clear of Air Commander, who looked like a unexposed horse for Aidan O'Brien. Like, this could be a very well handicapped horse off 95. He's currently only 3-1 in the betting, but he's probably a black type horse if he gave Chicago Critic that much of a scare, who, as I said, the Jersey is one of the more competitive 3-year-old races of this season, especially in the first half of the season anyway. Him coming into a handicap here, like, he just looks an absolute standout, and 3-1. He'd be my bet of the weekend now if he's declared. I think he'd take a serious amount of beating off 95 here.
Okay, very good, very good. We will move on to the 140, which is the Gain Railway Stakes, a Group 2 for 2-year-olds over 6 furlongs. We often see the Phoenix Stakes winner come out of this race, and it's a race where you probably want to avoid the Ascot runners. But did Nathan have one who went to Ascot and then came here and won this a few? Was it Blackbeard? Did he go to Ascot?
I think he did. Did Blackbeard go to Ascot? I don't know.
There was something that came out and won, beat the Chartash. Should win this, or was Chartash and Blackbeard in the same year, wouldn't he? Same crop.
Chartash won this. Yeah. I will double check. I'm on the Railway Stakes now. I'll tell you right now. Buecanero Forte, he went to Ascot, didn't he? He came back and won this. Go Bears Go, Law of Indices. Okay, Siskin didn't. Van Beethoven may well have gone to Ascot and got beat. Cool Company, another one, going back now to 2014, so we're going back quite a way now. But no, it can be done, but as you said, it's not something I usually like to do. Whistle Jacket's going to probably come here now, and he's going to be a short price, isn't he?
But look, I suppose that look, there's a few in here that have been to Ascot, and I'll be avoiding them. Once to take my fancy, Henry Matisse, he was green on debut, but he did get up to win by a short head. I'd imagine he's going to come on and improve for that run and show a bit more the next day if it is on Sunday. Principality, Richard Hannon, he was second to Ancient Truth, who has followed up, and he won at Goodwood the last day. Principality. Again, a Raider, you mentioned them in sprints, Andy. I know it's probably more handicap sprints where you really want to get stuck into them, but coming over here for a Group 2, you definitely want to keep an eye on. My selection of probably Thornbridge Wells, if he runs. He'd be Mighty Eriu of Gavin Cromwell, who was second in the Queen Mary. Could be quite strong form. I think the three of them, if they ran, wouldn't be far away, but I'd be siding with Thornbridge Wells. What about yourself?
You mentioned him there, Henry Matisse. I'd probably have a tentative selection, to be honest, Dec. I just don't know what's going to run here, to be honest. I'm pretty confident Whistle Jacket will run. Probably fair to say they ran him in the wrong race. He looked flat to the boards in the Norfolk. He did come home well, but he definitely needs 6 furlongs. He's the brother to Little Big Bear, who obviously won the Phoenix as well as the Windsor Castle at Royal Ascot. So look, I think he's going to go off favourite, but I do like Henry Matisse, who's obviously out of Immortal Verse, who is responsible for Tenebrism, who won the Cheveley Park, and I think she might also be the dam. We had mentioned her earlier, the early stud winner Statuette last year. I think Immortal Verse is her mother as well. So she has form of throwing Group 2 winners on this particular weekend. So let's see if Henry Matisse can add to the family. The family lineage. Immortal Verse, who was excellent herself. I think she was a top miler. I think. I can't actually. I could be getting her mixed up, but I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure she was a very, very good miler. So yeah, I'd stick with him to land the railway if he is declared.
Yeah, look, I think he's going to improve. Like, to get up in my short head after being, green enough and probably slow away the last day. He definitely has a big chance. It was Tunbridge Wells for me, but look, you can't lose any money yet anyway, because I thought you probably can't have a bet in this race, can you, Andy? Until we have
Not right now, no.
Not right now. No. So hopefully none of them are declared, and you don't have to lose any money. You can find a winner yourself. Okay, we will move on to where are we going next? We're leaving the big one to last. We'll move on to the 250, to the boy duty free Rockingham handicap, the Premier handicap for 3-year-old and up, over 5 furlongs. One of the biggest sprint handicaps on the Irish calendar, I'd say, Andy. What is the worth?
It's 100 grand again, isn't it?
100 grand again, yeah. So it's 100 grand again. Always a big field. Is a full 19 runners. It's probably not full.
I wouldn't say so. No, I wouldn't say so. No, definitely not.
No. That's a little bit disappointing. This race not filling, and we haven't even had declarations yet.
Yeah, it's not a great sign, all right.
There's a lot of them that haven't filled over the weekend, but look, and as I already admitted, I just didn't bother to look. I didn't not bother. I ran out of time. I got home late, so this one is all on you again. So take it away.
Right. Well, at least the Brits get awful abuse for never coming over to have a go.
They always come over for these sprint handicaps, to be fair.
Yeah, and we bloody need them here. So how many do we got? We got. I'll just double check now. Seeing where certain trainers are. Let's see. So we've got John Quinn. We've got 1, Paul Midgley 2, Michael Appleby 3, John and Sean Quinn 4. So we've and Carl Burke 5. Okay, so we've 5 raiders. So thank God for them. Cork are very, very talented as well in his own right. Going to carry the 10 stone. He'll have no problems doing that. Very, very good sprinter on his day. It was great to see Thunder Bear back to form the last day. I think a horse that you quite like, Dec, of Jack Davison's too, heading the weights. He won at Naas, I believe, the last day as well in a sprint. It was Navan. I always get my Naces and Navans mixed up. He was good that day as well. The most unexposed horse in the field, and a horse that's improved at a rate of knots, is the Kate McGivern trained Kendall Roy of Succession fame. Did you watch Succession, Dec? No, you'd like Succession. I'd say it's good. He's won 3 of his 4 this year. I said the handicapper's starting to get a little bit angry now, but he's been a revelation this season. Won on his final start at 2 off 57. Returned at Windsor of all places at 65. Came back to and then went to Thirsk a few days later. So, but then came home to Cork where he was beaten. Then won a nice handicap against his own age group. Last time out, so it's his first time against the elders. It'd be a good test for him. It's a big test for him, but you couldn't rule him out. The one I will go with though is the John and Sean Quinn horse, JM Jungle. Look, he didn't run too well at Hamilton, but I think they've that the trainer came over with Mr. Wagyu a few years ago, so he is able to come over here, win the big pots. He's off 89. Gives him a great chance. Like he's been beaten off short distances in 2023 and off ratings in the 90s. Ran really, really well at Musselburgh behind a quality in April. May not have been best placed that day to kind of land the challenge. He was kind of on the outside. Ran okay at York, but I actually think this, funny enough, despite a poor run at Hamilton, if you can put that behind him, where he just did too much too early, he's in here off 89. The handicapper's just giving him a chance, and if he can bounce back to what he is able to show, he shouldn't be too far away here. So I would take JM Jungle here for the Rockingham.
Okay, and I would be more than happy to follow you in. We will move on to the biggest race of the weekend, or what should be the biggest race of the weekend.
It's getting dark for me here. I need
Yeah,
to
what's
turn on
going
the
on
light.
there?
I need to turn on the
Huh?
light.
You want to put a few
Go on.
euro in the meter
I'm gonna,
there?
I'm gonna turn on the light there, kid. Just introduce the Irish Derby. I'll be back in 1
Yeah,
second.
I'm going to introduce the Irish Derby at a new
Bit
time
unprofessional.
Sunday. I think it may have been on Sunday in recent years, but traditionally, well, look, in my time anyway, it's been on a Saturday. It may have moved from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock and back again. But here we have it, Sunday, 4:05. The boy duty free Irish Derby. It's Group 1 for Colts and Fillies. Struggling, I would say, in recent years. The year. Oh, what was the horse? The grey horse of
You're
Aiden.
thinking of Capri. That with the year he
The year
beat.
Capri won it, it was
Yeah,
rated the best 3-year-old race of the year.
he beat Waldgeist and he beat
He beat Cracksman.
Cracksman and Waldgeist. Jesus Christ, that was
It
some
was a
race.
good race.
Yeah.
Look, I suppose there was a time where the Prix de Jockey Club winner and the Epsom Derby winner would come here and face off, and you would begin to decide who was the best 3-year-old colt. But look, I don't know whether it's the Ballydoyle domination or what, or I do often think that in these modern times, now that we have digital TV and we can see there's more quality around the world, that we're beginning to see that our product in Ireland and Britain is not what we were told. I suppose there was a lot of propaganda, wasn't there? We couldn't see what was around the world, the quality. But look, I don't know. It is the Irish Derby. It's our derby, and look, I hope it is a cracker, and I hope the horses come out of it. And I can say that the division has been weak, hasn't it? Like, apart from you had a good year at Ayard and Hurricane Lane, I thought that was very deep that year. We've had lots of 3-year-old fillies who were top class, but I think the Colts have really struggled over the division, and it's probably been down to Galileo and people trying to combat that and going in another direction and breeding for speed, because the Galileos and Ballydoyle were mopping up these 12 furlong races. But for me, the 12 furlongs is the classic distance, and it always will be, and that's what flat racing is about for me. So we do have we have some contenders here from the Epsom Derby. We have Andy and Friendly. He was second in the Derby. He was the Lingfield Trial winner. He looks the obvious choice here. Los Angeles was third in the Derby, but I think he looks well held by Andy and Friendly. Keeper's Heart. I thought, like, a lot of people gave Colin Keane stick when he was beating a Leopardstown. I thought the horse lacked the gear. I thought he couldn't go through the gap, and there's nothing Colin Keane could do about that. The horse just isn't quick enough. And then I think that was proven when he was behind, when he was third the next day at Leopardstown. There's a horse named Malsardi who's improving, stepping up and trip, could spring a surprise, but then again, I would also be surprised if he was good enough to win it. I know you're a big fan of Ambient Friendly, Andy. I do think he's the obvious choice, but I am prepared to give Grosvenor Square one last chance. He is a Galileo. I backed him for the Derby last year when he was a 2-year-old. I think he wanted this trip all day long. He was only third at Chester, and I just don't know whether he's a little bit ground dependent, whether he doesn't really want it good like it was at Chester. And it's probably going to be good the weekend, and that will put him out of it. But I do like him, and I kind of can't help but give him another chance. If it rained from now till Sunday, I'd be absolutely over the moon and have a good go on him. But yeah, look, that's for me. It's we've no declarations yet, and it's quite tentative, and I'm backing him, hoping he's not ground dependent, which is probably a little bit silly of me. But Andy, you take us through this.
Yeah, he's an interesting runner, all right, Dec. He's out of Wadi Hadda, which makes him a half brother to a former Irish Derby winner in Santiago. So it is in the family. He
That was
could well
COVID
be.
year, was it?
It was the COVID year, yeah. It was indeed. He beat Tiger Moth, probably, and I think Oran Novian was in there too. It wasn't the strongest Irish derby you'll ever see, anyway.
Mm.
Anyway, look about Grosvenor Square. He made all the running in his win at Leopardstown, the one you mentioned there. So there is a very good chance that he could be the one that gets loose on the front end. Could he do what Sovereign did a couple of years ago? He's definitely bred to stay this trip. He's not one that you would want to give an easy lead to, because he will just keep galloping. He's bred for it. He'll have no problem doing it. So he is one you might want to keep an eye on. I imagine he is going to be a pacemaker deck. But as we've seen, pacemakers have won this race in the past and not that long ago. So, yeah, he's going to be a big price. But if you see a jockey booking like, I don't know who could ride him. Declan McDonough could ride him. You never know. I don't think Wayne Lord nor Ryan Moore. Sure, Jesus, John Velasquez is in the country. You know, when
Yeah.
American jockeys go to the front, you just never
And if
know.
Johnny Velasquez gets on, I'll be going in.
He'd be getting backhanders after the furlong pole to get to the lead. Yeah, but you never know. He could run a big race. And just a little side note here: Galileo as a stallion is on 99 individual Group 1 winners. So we have Agenda, Chief Little Rock, Grosvenor Square, the 3 horses by Galileo in this field. If any of them win a Group 1 or win the Irish Derby, they could be Galileo's 100th individual Group 1 winner, which I don't think we'll ever see again. I don't think any horse is going to get to that level in our lifetime anyway. It's an absolutely outrageous achievement. Let's hope he can do it, because he's run out of time to do it.
Yeah,
but anyway,
and just to think that he was kind of at the beginning of his stud career, like
it was quiet, yeah.
He almost failed. He was quiet. Like he wasn't sent. He wasn't sent the mares that his son was. You know, where it's kind of like we need to make him great. It took Jim Bulger really to see something and take a chance.
Tia Filio, new approach, yeah. Who else was there? The San Frontiers was one of the early ones as well.
Yeah, so it wasn't like he was given a head start. He's
60s icon, yeah. No,
yeah,
not at all.
he wasn't given a head start. He had a tough time. It's you know, he will always be compared to Frankel, I'd say, as a sire, but Frankel was sent the very best mares. Like he was not counterfeit, and he's been a fantastic sire. But Galileo had to do it a hard way.
He did. He absolutely did. Now, he was bred for it, obviously out of Urban Sea and whatnot, but yeah, he did. You're dead right. I hope he does it, because it'd be a great achievement. Look, getting back to the Irish Derby, look, Los Angeles, I think his run of the Derby can be marked up. Like, they went very hard in the Derby. He ran on to finish 3rd, but the daylight that Ambiente Friendly and City of Troy put between Los Angeles, it's hard to say if he's a genuine Group 1 performer. I know he won a Group 1 at 2, but like, it's different to win a Group 1 at 2 than it is a Group 1 at 3. You do need to progress, obviously. And look, Los Angeles hasn't done a whole lot wrong, but I think Ambiente Friendly, on what he's shown at Lingfield, he made a mockery of the Queen's Vase winner in Illinois. You know, I think City of Troy is an above average Derby winner. And I think most of their years, Ambiente Friendly probably wins that Derby, and we're talking about like a real superstar. I think 11 to 10 is very generous. I think the only thing that gets this horse beat, if he runs, like if he comes here on a going day, which there's no reason why he won't. I just think maybe, I don't know, Coolmore tactics, getting him boxed in, coming around, is the only thing that's going to get this horse beat. But the way he travels, how he picks up, how fast he is, and how he is a fast horse for the trip. And I just think he'd be able to quicken off any sort of pace. Rab Havlin can just hold on to him. I think he's just going to go and win this, and I think he's going to win it well, to be honest with you.
Well, look, if he gets the pacemaker, he should win it. I don't like, if he gets the pacemaker, it makes it harder to box him in. If the pacemaker goes to the front and puts the brakes on, like we've seen, was it Battle of Marengo do?
Battle of Marengo. No, I don't. Battle of Marengo was fancied. I don't think he did it.
Didn't he go to the front and put the brakes on when Ruler of the World and Don Approach pulled his chance away?
I think that was Kilimanjaro. I will check who it was, though. I think it was because Kilimanjaro won the Lingfield Derby trial that year, I think.
But Battle of Marengo won the champion juvenile at Leopardstown.
Yeah, and the Derrinstown Derby trial.
Yeah, from the front, and then I think he went to the front and put the brakes on, and Joseph
He
rode him, and
Chase
Ryan rode
leaders
him.
until Chase leaders until led over 9 furlong out. Yeah, no, you're right. Oh,
Yeah,
Mars was in it that year.
Mars.
Yeah,
But you look, I think
yeah.
if the pace, he should win it. If he's the horse
Mm.
you think he is, he should win it. I think if
He's
they're gonna get him beat, it's you run horses and you have no pace in it.
yeah.
You
He's
know, if you want to get a good horse beat, no, the best horse should win off a fast pace. Aiden
yeah,
is back running pacemakers now again.
yeah. And look,
You know,
I've no qualms with pacemakers. The best horse tends to win as long as you respect the pacemaker.
I think there should be pacemakers in the race.
Yeah.
I love a pacemaker
Like
because
the
the
Diamond
best
League of
horse
Athletics,
wins.
like
Yeah,
you
you
know the way the
know,
Diamond League they run like if it's an 800 meters, they stick a pacemaker in, he'll drop out after 600, and then
yeah,
it's
like
just every.
good horses quicken off a fast pace. Like the lesser horses can't quicken off that pace. Like, you know, when you think of I know I'm going back to the jumps now. When you think of proper 2 mile chasers like Queen Mother Champion chase winners, they they were flat to the boards, and the ones that were top class could quicken off that pace where everyone was flat to the boards
Yeah,
from flagpole. Like, that you good horses win off
yeah.
a fast pace. If you want to get a good horse beat, you just make sure there's no pace in the race.
The Irish Champion Stakes during the COVID year was an example as well when Tarnowa and St Mark's Basilica quickened up off the home turn. There's a great camera angle of it as well.
Yeah.
As they pick up
The horse that Joseph.
the Bolger horse. King,
Horse
yeah,
Joseph, the yellow and red.
yeah, that was that was when, and then obviously the Guineas
Jim
winner
Bolger ran the thing that went to Japan, absolutely made of iron.
native trail.
No,
Jesus, no.
the Guineas winner.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. The one by Dawn Approach. Why am I not? I'm actually
And he was
Patrick Sarsfield was the Joseph horse.
Yeah, but
anyway,
he was the James's Palace winner. And
Yeah.
he was the Guineas winner, wasn't he? Jim
he
Bolger's
was.
horse.
He was.
And he went to school in Japan because he was made of iron.
Yeah, exactly. And he was by Dawn Approach. That's why he went to when he stood in Japan. Nobody wanted him over here, it's pretty desperate. I know we're getting off topic, but that's going to really annoy me how I'm not remembering that horse's name. It was Poetic Flair. That was the
Poetic
one.
Flair.
Yeah, what a horse he was. What a
He
race.
doesn't deserve to be forgotten about by us.
No, he doesn't deserve to be. He's yeah, absolutely. But no, I think Ambiente Friendly and City of Troy, I think they're 2 3-year-olds that are going to wreak havoc this year on the older horses. I think.
Well, look, I hope so, because we could do with a good 3-year-old crop, and there's nothing like a good 3-year-old crop. So Andy, Amy and Fair, you're quite keen. I'm hoping.
I think he should be. I think he should be about 4 to 6. Or like, to be honest with you, I think if this is not the Irish Derby and it's not the Curragh, if this is any race anywhere else in the world, he's a 4 to 6 shot to be what's in front of him there. I think anyway.
Okay, yeah. Look, it's hard to argue with you. I totally see it. I'm gonna give Ground and Square one more chance. Look, that's us finished with the races we're covering. Have you anything else? Maybe something tomorrow, Andy? Or
no, I didn't check Friday. Actually, funny enough, heading to Taylor Swift Friday night.
Oh, yeah,
so yeah, I know. Yeah, so I won't be paying too much attention to the races. But no, all the horses that I have covered, I got some good extensive research in there. It felt good to be back on it now. So
look,
it's
been an absolute pleasure, Andy. Really enjoyed it, and it's different hosting. I have enjoyed it tonight, and listening to you talk about the flat. Nap at the Tap, I suppose, Wembley.
Has to be, doesn't it? We both agreed on it. Yeah, absolutely.
And look, I don't know whether anyone is still listening now. We're just gone over an hour.
This is our rustiness coming out.
It's been a while, and we've covered a lot of races, but we're actually not nominated for an award with us on Twitter. A lot of people have liked and voted for us under the other. As other. So I want to say thanks very much, and anyone who hasn't voted for us for the award we're not nominated for, please get on and vote.
Yeah,
because we like we like to think we can put it up to those other podcasters who were nominated.
Yeah, and who get paid for doing
And you
this.
get, some of them are getting paid. Look, this has been an absolute pleasure, Andy. It's been too long.
It's been too long.
I really enjoyed this, and hope everyone enjoys the Curragh over the 3 days, and finds plenty of winners, whether they're from us or do your own bit of homework and find winners yourself.
Yeah.
But thanks very much, Andy, and thanks to everyone. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you again soon.
All the best, guys. Bye bye.